Oh, hello again, YouTube. You've caught me fishing in my own private pool, which I did in my last video. I showed off the pool, the kitchen, and the botany room, and got a pufferfish, nice. And I just ran through those three real quick because, unlike most of the other rooms in this house, they didn't have any crazy cool redstone fun things or anything like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave this area and move on to the upper floor. And when we get into the upper floor, what I said in the last video was that unlike stuff like the creeper room, if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out soon, is that my castle was built before apparently one of the villagers is having a seizure. You okay there, bud? You know, this is kind of perfect actually, because this room right here, we're gonna get into in a second. But let me just finish what I was saying. My castle was built in survival only, never nothing in creative mode ever. Okay, all right, you knock it off with that door, bro. All right, stop. Go home. Go home. You're drunk. Go home to your wife. She misses you. Just do it. Anyways, so this was all built in survival on normal difficulty most of the time. Sometimes easy, but we're only in passive right now because I just don't want to deal with mobs while I give a tour of the place. And yeah, so I built the castle first, and then I had to figure out how to work all the redstone into it. And once I got into a lot of the redstone on the ground floor, it became really clear to me that you couldn't do too much on the upper floor because redstone takes up a lot of space, and you just don't, unless you have a bunch of weird tumors growing out of the side of your castle, you really just couldn't do anything too crazy. So they're mostly cosmetic rooms, which I covered in the last video as rooms that are just there because, I needed to fill the rooms with something, and therefore I just went simple and just made a really fun decorations. So we're gonna start right here where that drunk idiot is the bar. Now I know there's a nightclub underneath my castle, and this actually came first. The nightclub came after, and that's because I was really running out of ideas when I needed to fill that room. So here we have what I would like to say is a pool hall cigar bar. You can see the pool table right here with its stick and balls, and like nice little like furniture for people to sit on and drink from their mugs, and the two bartenders. Yeah, they are. This guy I think has seen some things, but this guy, I don't know about this guy. I think this one might know some things about that one because he seems a little frazzled. Anyways, one of the cool things here to show off, and this is not my design. I will try to link the video in the description when I get around to writing descriptions for these. This is a water cooler, and I'll have to go find. I have the video saved somewhere, so hopefully I can find the link to it. But just a cool little design. There's no functionality. It doesn't do anything. It's just there to look like a water cooler. So just kind of a fun thing. And then the two bartenders, kind of clever. And again, cosmetic rooms, the reason I'm even showing you these, I know they're not very fun to look at, but it's just if you're stuck with no idea what to do for a room, these are just some fun ideas that I stumbled across. And yeah, and then it's also where I store my two music CDs because I could not get a skeleton to shoot a creeper to save my life. But yeah, it's that's keep the music discs in there though, so it does have some functionality. Out here we have the banquet hall. Again, this is just I needed to fill the space and do something. So we're just gonna go this way. But here's a room with really serious functionality, and this is the storage room. This is where almost every item I could want to store a surplus of is kept. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, just the core materials, and of course everything of each color. We got the wool, the dye, the glass, the clay, and then up here we have the windows and and carpet. So, which reminds me, I've got to go replace a window downstairs eventually, but we're not going to do that right now. But yeah, so nothing too fancy about this room, but just an interesting way. I've had a lot of people actually compliment me on this, to my surprise, that this was a clever way to do it without item frames, is to just put the block next to it. And yeah, I know a single chest is not a lot of storage. I don't know why I'm clicking on those, but there you go. It's something with something in it. I don't know why, you know, it's not a lot of storage, but honestly, if you filled up one of these chests, you pretty much, I mean, that's plenty to do a lot of things. So most of the other stuff I'll just throw in the item sorter down below or in another chest somewhere else, and whatnot. But yeah. And in here we have the wood room, so you see every tree. So this is where you keep all the wood from that tree and all the seedlings, and this is anything ever built from it, like, you know, slabs and whatnot. And yep, and it's just marked by the trees. Again, somebody, one person came in, thought this was really clever. I just thought it was, you know, just different. But anyways, yeah, and as you can see, as I complained in the item sorter video, cobblestone requires 3 chests to store it all. Half of it is in the item sorter right now for the demonstration I gave. But yeah. So yeah, nothing too much about this room. Just a pretty way to organize everything. So cool. All right, the next room is the bedroom. There's nothing really fun to say here. This used to have some secret stuff in it, but I just never used it. So I am a big collector of wither skulls, so you'll see them kind of all over the castle. And then you know, like got some blocks of all the fun materials that I work with and everything. Yeah, so nothing too exciting here. And then in here, this room is actually a work in progress. It's changed a couple of times. It actually used to be the botany room, and then I moved it down there. But yeah, so for right now, it's covering some things I didn't have space for on the other side. So polished stones, and I'm probably gonna make this like a designer room where it's not, as opposed to core resources, it's gonna be stuff like that I build fancy, like carpet, you know, carpet and fancy stuff, and like the polished stuff that you would just build your house out of. So, all right, moving on. We'll get to the only fun room in here. Not this room. This is the library. We already covered that in another video because the room itself is 2 floors. So we're gonna skip this. But if you want to go check it out, go check it out in that other video. But this is my favorite room in design-wise, and it's kind of cosmetic, but it's got some fun stuff in it. And that is the engineering room. And I really modeled this after like an Apple bar. A Mac store somewhere, but this is where I just keep all the redstone stuff, you know, switches, buttons, lights, slime blocks. Oh, so many hoppers. But yeah, so it's just it's a fun room, and one of the things I decided to do is throw in little gimmicks here and there. So these are very, very simple redstone stuff that's really pointless, but you know, hey, lights on, lights off. And there's the minecart. This doesn't work, but you know, it was an idea, you know, like have it kind of roll. And what I store in there is well, minecarts and boats, but you know, minecarts. So there's all my minecart stuff. I'm not even sure what that is. It's just I used redstone for decorations. And then over here we have and I'll have to link a description in the video again for this is a computer. I think it's the same video as the water fountain thing. Yeah, it's actually it's a computer, supposedly. Looks like a keyboard, looks like a computer screen and everything, but it's actually, which is different than what he did in the video, it is a dispenser full of potions. So when you click the mouse, you get splashed with something random. And I don't even know what I got. I have no idea. I have no idea what hit me. So it doesn't seem to be invisibility, so your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, it hits you with something random, and a lot of times I'll put experience potions in there too, so you know, you'll get a little experience from clicking it sometimes. But with enough people playing online, I tended to take those out because I don't want people using them up and stuff. Over here, though, we have Bob. Bob is my crash test dummy, and Bob is, you know, he's not dressed for the occasion, so let's go ahead and dress him. This was a flaw, by the way, that the door activates and slows this process down. But you know, whatever. You see what I was doing, and but yeah, Bob here is now dressed for his crash test. So let's go over here and click the button, and it looks like he survived. All right, let's do that again. That's... Oh, Bob. Who is playing with the door right now? You stop it. Stop with the door. If I haven't said enough in any of these videos, villagers are annoying. Oh, so there's one other gimmick in here, and unfortunately it requires 2 people to really show it off, but it's just a fun thing when you bring somebody in to my world to just, you know, kind of do with them real quick, and that is, you'll notice there's slime blocks on the table, and that's not just decorative. There is an excuse for that, and if you flip the switch, it'll open up the roof, and if you get your friend to jump up on here, you can hit this little switch and launch him up through the ceiling. Unfortunately, they don't typically make it high enough to actually land on the ceiling, but it's just this, it's a funny thing. So, you know, we just go ahead and, you know, just, it's a goofy thing. Plus it's cool how it's like almost like modern art when you flip it and how the table changes into this crazy shape and all that. So I wanted to do something a little crazier where, you know, I can launch myself to the top with a double piston system, but the redstone was impossible to work with on a single block floor. So, you know, I just abandoned it, and it's just gimmicky stuff at this point. While we're on the subject, we're going to go ahead and just cover the top floor while we're at it, because, you know, let's just go ahead and finish off the castle, then we can get to the farm outside in the next video and wrap it up. But up here we actually have a, you can actually, if I'm on the roof and I get trapped by some monsters, I can go up here, hit the button, and drop down. So that's just yeah, because the roof is not very well lit. But the only thing really on the roof noteworthy are the these are all separate rooms with flaming bonfires inside of them. One of them has beds in it. It's not really worth showing you because it's beds. You've seen beds. It's over there, and that was supposed to be like a guest room, but then I built the village outside, so, you know, we'll cover that later. But anyways, you'll notice the six block pyramid. Again, I swear to you, all of this was built in survival, so I worked my butt off to make this thing. Nothing was made in creative, so this is all like working my butt off like crazy to sell crops. When we get into my farm, you'll see my crazy farm thing. Selling crops to the farmer villager and collecting as much emerald as possible to build a giant pyramid for all these beacons. So yeah, it's that is a lengthy process, but it was worth it, and I didn't waste any iron, gold, or diamond to do it, and I still have tons of emerald left over because, God, the farm's amazing. But that's all it for most of the interior, I believe. So we're gonna end the roof portion off with this little button here, and fireworks. Yay. All right. We're going to go jump back down to the engineering, and then I am going to head out for the outside world in the next video. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching.